Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video to show you how to change the rear camera in the iPhone 6s. So the first thing you want to do is power off your iPhone. Next, what we need to do is use a pentalobe screwdriver size 0, and we're going to need to remove these two screws in the bottom of the phone right here. So go ahead and remove those screws. Next, what you will need is a suction cup like this. So first of all, you want to do is push down on the screen right here. You want to stay just above the home button. If you go over the home button, it won't suction very well. So what we need to do is stick it down there, and then we need to pry up gently. Just pull up a little bit. And as you can see right above the headphone jack here, there's a little notch in the screen. If you can get in there with something, I'm just going to use a little pry tool like this. And you can just kind of slip in under there. At the same time, you're keeping tension on here with your finger. This particular phone has been apart before, I can tell, so it doesn't have much adhesive on here because the iPhone 6s has adhesive strips on the inside right here, so it might come apart a little harder than what mine's showing. So you just want to keep working it along the edges. Don't go in very far. If you use a pry tool like this, just use it a little bit at a time. And then you can see this is starting to separate. So let's go ahead and remove our suction tool right now. Now we're ready to gently lift this up. All the way, don't lift it past the 90 degrees. If you do more than a 90 degrees, you can end up tearing these cables up here, and we don't want to do that. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to use a Phillips screwdriver size 000, and we're going to need to remove these 4 screws in this plate right here. So go ahead and remove those. Now that you've removed those screws, make sure you put them in the right order so you know how they go back together, because some of them are different sizes. Just pull this plate off of here, set it with your screws. Now next we're going to disconnect these connectors right here. We're going to do them in order, whichever one's on top. So the one that's furthest towards the bottom here, going to slip in here. I would recommend use something plastic or your fingernail or something. Don't use anything metal for this because it could damage the connectors. So just go ahead and remove all 3 of those. They're kind of stacked in order like that so you can see. And now that that's loose, you're free to take the screen off just like that all the way. If this video was helpful to you so far, I would appreciate if you would give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. That would help me out a lot. I'll include links in the video description below the video for any tools that I'm going to be using on this repair today, or any parts that I'm going to be replacing. Anything that I think might be helpful to you, I'll include a link in the video description below the video, so check it out there. So next, to change the rear camera, which is located right here, what we're going to do first of all is we're going to use a Phillips screwdriver size 000, and we're going to remove these 2 screws right here in this shield right here. So go ahead and remove those 2 screws. Now that you've removed those 2 screws, make sure to keep the screws in the right order because they are different size. So next you can use something like a plastic pry tool or your finger, something that's not metal so you don't damage the connector. And just pry under this connector right here, and then you can just kind of pry up a little carefully, and then this whole rear camera comes right out. Now this has a shield on the back, you can just slide it off, then there's your camera. So grab your new camera, slide your shield back over top of it, and then there's this little part right here that the screw goes through, this little cable. You have to make sure that that stays out of the way as you're setting this down in here. As you're setting the camera down, make sure that it lines up in that screw hole right there. Then you can just reconnect the connector just by pushing down on it right there. Go ahead and put your 2 screws back in. Now to reassemble the LCD screen, let's grab it and tip it up here at a 90 degrees. Now you can see we have 3 different connectors here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the one that's on the bottom, snap it in right here where it goes. Now these should be able to just press in with a soft click. You should be able to feel them and hear them. So do the second one, then do the third one. Now before we put all our plates back on, we're going to test this phone by powering it on. You can see it's powering on okay. So you can see your touchscreen works, so you can go ahead and get out of that. Turn it back off. Now that we turned it back off, go ahead and get your screen back up at 90 degrees. Grab our little plate in here, set it on here, and then go ahead and put those 4 screws back in. So now that you got the 4 screws in this plate right here, what you can do is gently set your screen down. Then what we're going to do, I'm going to try to show you, is we need to get these tabs in up here first. Tip the screen up like this carefully, and we need to get the front started first, like that. And then we can start just pushing this down all the way. Make sure it's good all the way down. Then go ahead and put your 2 bottom screws back in. Now that you got your bottom screws back in, go ahead and power on your device. And again, make sure everything's working, and you're all set. Thanks for watching.